Hi there, the title of this video series is How to Become a Great Coach in 1 Month. And the title of this particular video is How to Avoid 2 Major Mistakes That I Made in My Coaching Career. Hi, I'm Bill Patton, the author of The Art of Coaching High School Tennis, Visual Training for Tennis, and The Athlete-Centered Coach. And so today I'm going to discuss 2 different things that I did in my coaching that were a problem. One of them was not understanding how tennis players are different than other athletes at the school that you're coaching at. Another one is about how to select your team, which is a really important part of your success, and the conventional wisdom of team selection maybe is not going to be that helpful. It's the first day of the 21-day video challenge. At the end of this month, you're going to be a great coach. So here we go. Number 1, I underestimated the value of being a tennis player because tennis players have a much greater can-do attitude than the general school population. One thing that I found is that I had a really strong belief in myself and what I could do. It took a lot of convincing to get other people to be on board with that. So one example was that I kept asking my athletic director if I could teach tennis on the courts at the school, and he kept saying no, and he said no flatly 3 different times. And so I kind of gave up on that for a little while. And that was in spite of the fact that the volleyball team, the wrestling team, and the softball team all had these camps that they did every summer, and it was not a big deal, and they'd been doing it for years. One of the parents of one of the kids on the team suggested that I go to the business office of the district. And so I did that, and I offered to not only buy new nets for the school, which didn't cost me more than a couple $100s. And then also I donated all the used balls from my lessons to the program, and thus reducing the budget. So a win-win for everybody. Later, I then started to run tournaments, and I would pledge a certain percentage of the tournament income would go into the tennis budget. And so everybody won on that one. It took some time. It wasn't an instant fix, but you have to believe that you can start to change the culture of what's happening. Didn't make me a big fan with my athletic director, although he later resigned in a scandal over embezzling funds. So, I can't tell you that that's what's going to happen at your school, but you have to understand that as a tennis person, your tennis kids are different than the other kids at the school. You are a different person than the greater school culture, and it might take people a little while to warm up to you. Number 2. At first, I used to pick my teams based solely on playing ability. And so the interesting thing there was a time when one girl who really was probably good enough to make the team didn't make it because this one girl and all of her friends went way out of their way to try to intimidate her. And so she didn't win the challenge match that she needed to win against the girl that was bullying her. She was cut from the team. And so I wish that I had had a criteria to be able to select people based on other factors, but I didn't have that, and I couldn't justify selecting one player over the other even after they had lost. So now, one thing I think is really vital is to have a criteria that is 50 to 75% playing ability, but then the other 50% is made up of attitude, teachability, willingness to help teammates, other factors that you come up with. So think about the things that you want in your program and the character traits that you're looking for, because if you have those, then you will have a criteria that's set. And honesty is a big one. So I had a problem with a player who lied to me about what position he had played the year before on the team. I was a brand new coach, and he kept telling me that he had played varsity, and all the other kids and the assistant coach came to me and said, no, he never played varsity at all. And so he was a pretty good player, but we couldn't resolve this problem with his dishonest behavior, and he ended up leaving the team. So I do believe because this wasn't resolved, he quit, but I probably wouldn't have selected him anyway. So have these different criteria. It's very important for you to be able to select the players, and then they feel more of the privilege of being able to be on the team rather than it's just an automatic because they can beat someone who is on the squad. That's a very important thing. You can then set the tone for having a better overall learning experience when you have a group of players that are all there to learn and get better. 1, 2, or 3 kids with bad attitudes who make everything more difficult can actually negatively affect the team, even though they're actually pretty good players. So a couple of things to keep in mind, and then this is just day 1. Next video is going to be coming out tomorrow. Looking for your feedback, and ready, go.